Hello, everyone. So it's me, Phoenix, and I wanted to share this gem of a game with you. It's not super popular like you would expect all the major games, but it's actually very good for what it is. So you are playing as a survivor in a zombie apocalypse. It's pretty much what you'd expect out of a zombie game. You try and survive as long as possible. You try and find better gear. You build up your base. But one thing I want to make a big point out of is the base building in this game is actually pretty crazy. You can get really creative. You can build, your own fortress. You can build inside buildings. You can just. It's pretty insane how crazy you can get when it comes to building stuff in this game. You can build traps to help fight off a horde, which comes every single night. So it gets pretty difficult if you're not prepared to deal with these hordes, which I think may be the one turnoff for the game when people play it, is if you're not prepared for the horde that comes every night, because it does progressively get worse and worse, so you have to make sure you're spending the day actually making progress and making your base better at dealing with these hordes. So I can understand that part would deter people from playing the game, but I promise you, if you get good at it, actually learn how to play it a bit and get used to what you have to do, you can actually start really enjoying this game. There's a lot of crafting involved. There's level systems. You level up, get more damage, more health, more whatever. You can do research to research how to craft different things or to make your character stronger. There is even a character creation system, which I think is relatively simple. There's some sliders. There's not a whole lot in it, but it's still something. There's not really a story, I noticed. This game still is in early access. And for an early access game, it actually runs really well. It doesn't crash. You barely see any bugs. But for what it is for an early access, it seems like a full game. What you'd expect out of more or less a full game. Pretty much, it's just about the whole goal of surviving as long as possible, building up your base, and killing zombies and exploring and looting buildings and whatnot, and the crafting system and the gear system. That's pretty much what it is right now. It's just a game where you try and survive every single night for as long as possible until you feel like you need to restart. And there are different zombie types as well. And there's actually mini bosses. I didn't record a boss I fought a while ago, but it was pretty insane trying to kill the boss. And they're randomly, throughout the world. And sometimes a boss may come to attack you when the night comes. So far, no story that I've seen, but overall, I believe this is what I would consider a gem of a game that no one really talks about. There's still a community that plays it, but I feel like more people would really enjoy this game. I also wanted to mention that the combat in this game, I would say, is a mix between Dark Souls and For Honor. There's a mechanic where if you hit an enemy, it will stagger them, or if they hit you, it will stagger you, which can make it a little bit more dodgy when you try and attack like a whole group of zombies at once, because they'll just stagger you to death. And then there's also the mechanic that reminds me of For Honor, where if you swing your weapon, there's a chance you can hit a wall if you don't angle yourself correctly or position yourself nicely. So if you're in a cramped space trying to swing your weapon side to side, you can bounce it off walls. And the same thing can happen with zombies too. So it's a balance between both sides. It's not just only you get to deal with this and then they can just swing through like a million like walls and stuff. But yeah, that's just one thing I wanted to mention. And also, one thing that the developers did. I don't know if they did this on purpose, but when you first start the game, there's no character sheet button. Like when you level up, you have to open your character sheet and choose where you want to upgrade your stats, but there's no button mapped to this, so you have to go into the controls and pick one for it. And the game is not native 1920 by 1080p, so whatever resolution you have, you gotta change it because it's defaultly set at 2K. But yeah, other than those things, this game is really fun once you get into it. That does it for the video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!